One of my favorites, this is the querying a HTTP API. So I'm going to use a tool called Freak Server and Domain Stats. Now, to run that, I've got this run file. You could just run it with bash and it would do it, but I want to show you what it's doing. It's basically starting 2 Docker containers. Just go ahead and start one. Freak Server. Oh, it started in the background. So if that happens and you want to stop it, you can just do this. I'm actually purging it. Goodbye. And I'm assuming domain stats is probably running too. Goodbye. And now rerun my command. Of course I did. Copy, paste, there we go. It's now running in the background. I can prove it's working. One, you could do this test. I'm just going to run this localhost. I have it listening on 10,004, measure to, google.com. This is kicking back a natural language processing score, an NLP score, on how normal or not normal a domain is. It's just using the English dictionary by default, so it's not going to score correctly, but I'm showing how when logs come in, I can reach over to this web interface and pull back data. This would work for commercial tools, even like RiskIQ, like online passive DNS. They have a REST API you can authenticate and pull data from. So the goal is in your log ingestion pipeline or your SOAR platform, wherever you're doing this, as you're trying to look at a string like an IP, a domain name, whatever it is, I can cross-correlate that via a web API call. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out by getting domain stats up. Copy, paste. I'm going to go ahead and real quickly run the test script just to make sure they're both functioning. We're good. It pulled back a freak score. It pulled back a domain creation date. So in domain stats, what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out if a domain is new, like fresh off the car lot, it's got that fresh car smell, or if it's old. And I actually want it to be old. Because I don't know about you, but if you just buy new cars all the time, you'll be broke. Just word to the wise, life choice. Buy the used car, buy a 2 or 3 year old car, and you'll save a bunch of money. Okay, bad analogy, but concept here is domains we're connecting to, if they're old and they've been around for a while, they are safer than something that was created right now. Like domain generated algorithms, randomly generated domains, they usually have a lifespan of 24 to 72 hours. They're registered, they're used to attack you or command and control, and then they're decommissioned. Ta-da, right? Oh, okay. So I'm going to run logstash -f, and I'm going to point to, in this case, this must be in my tactical folder. And this is probably, yep, there we go. The HTTP enrich example. I'm going to bring that up so that we can see it. Here we go. And notice, this is literally using the HTTP plugin to make a HTTP call, in this case, to our running Python REST API services. And it's going to pass whatever I give it, a domain name, to these 2 APIs and pull back values, specifically a creation date and a frequency score. So once that's running, I'll do that. But keep in mind, this does not have to be the 2 HTTP services I'm using. You have a Palo Alto or a FortiGate or a checkpoint, a sonic wall, maybe not a sonic wall. If I had those running, and let's say I know for a fact this alert coming in, it's bad, and you want to block traffic to that IP. Be very careful if you're doing this, by the way. All of those have HTTP interfaces, meaning I could pass with Logstash an authentication token that says this external IP, shun it, block it. And I can actually do that programmatically in something like this. Same HTTP plugin. Do google.com. Ta-da! Notice pulled in, google.com. That's just what it's using for the plugin. And let's try HASecurity Ta-da! So pulling in creation dates, and we're also getting frequency scores. That simple. Lots of use cases for that HTTP plugin.